Boogaloo with another WrestleRoni for me and you. Oh, I'm excited. Today, current RSW Heritage Champion, current AIWF Shoot Fighting Champion, former PWL Champion, hide your kids, hide your eyes, Benny Conley. What the hell you doing, man? Ouch.
Oh, poking eyes and beating up guys. That's all I have on the agenda for now,
It's how you live. You're killing it out here, man. You're everywhere. What are you not doing should be the question.
Uh, there's always something you could be working on, and that's just what I'm trying to figure out. What can I do to get to that next step? And right now, it's winning championships and making the crowd boo me just about everywhere I go.
They're hating you. I'm there. I'm dodging stuff when you're coming to the ring, getting shit thrown at me because I'm the damn cameraman. You're pretty hated in West Virginia right now, so congratulations on that, sir.
Thank you. A lot of people don't like working the different areas of West Virginia because north of Flatwoods is way different than south of Flatwoods. But it's a challenge. It's fun, and I love doing it, man. This is if I make it one day or I don't make it at all, these moments I'm making right now are going to be the ones that stick through no matter what.
Damn right, damn right. In my mind, you've made it, man. You're killing it. By God, anytime I put a match of yours on the channel, the views instantly go up. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put a plug in right now. Stay tuned after the interview, dropping on the channel a very rare Benny Conley classic, unreleased to the public, coming up soon. We might even talk about that because, hell, we're heading back to Parma soon. I know you'll be there in Parma. Hell,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shoot. We'll get into the match with Billy Knoxx. You got coming up a little bit of controversy over the weekend up on the mountain, Benny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Okay. I know Billy's mighty pissed at you.
He does have a right to be mad at me, but, since I've left RSW and came back, I haven't been beat. And to be honest, I think the last person that did pin me was Remy in RSW years back. So if there's anybody that should take that championship that I never lost from him, it shouldn't be Billy, and that's why I had to do what I had to do because it looked like he was going to do that.
Okay. So whatever works best for Benny Conley now, right?
100%, yeah, because at the end of the day, I got my own back, and nobody else does.
Okay. Let's take it back to PWL a few weeks ago. You're doing a hell of a match with Tyler Jacks. One of my favorite recent matches. And then talk about doing things on your own. I don't know. It looks like you got a new big friend in PWL. What can you tell us about this guy?
Well, we'll call him Carl for now.
Okay.
But, Carl didn't do a thing to help me beat Tyler Jacks. He didn't lay a finger on him.
Fair.
In fact, he distracted both of us, you can say, right?
Yeah, fair, but I think one knew what was going on and one didn't.
Maybe so, if you look back at the footage, you can say I was a little intimidated by this fella who just came and interrupted the end sequence of my match, But Carl is a pretty interesting fellow, and I'm going to say that we are friends, we are acquaintances, and I may have misspoke because that guy does have my back.
It appears so. And if you weren't already a threat in PWL, man, God be with us all. I got to give you props on that. Like, you're already a champion. You've made a name for yourself, and now you got this big giant of a man that's got your back. So I'm curious to see how things pan out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how well Carl exceeds. He's going to exceed expectations at a local level 100%, but I want him to go higher than that local level, and I know he will, and I know with the help of me, he can make it there.
I'll give you that, man. We say it all the time, the proof's in the pudding. Your reputation speaks for itself. The last time you was on the show, God, I think then you was holding 3 or 4 titles.
Right.
And Yeah, and since then, man, one of my favorite matches ever. Well, let's go ahead and dip into that. The match with Cyclops. You talk about some raw emotion, and the crowd just hanging on everything. I am so proud to have that match on my channel. Let's get a little real with things here. What can you tell me about that night at PWL?
All right, so like obviously I did not win, but if you want to get real with the stuff, moments like how that match turned out are the reason why you get into this.
Mm-hmm.
So many people were there to support him. So many people were there to support me, and so many people were there to also boo me. There were people there booing him too. But there was so much emotion going into it. We'd had match after match after match, and we used our previous finishes for these matches for our false finishes and our hope spots, and it was just such, I feel like, a storytelling experience, and that's what wrestling is to me. I love telling a story. You know, uh, I like working a leg a lot in a match or something like that, and then you'll see me like go back to it or have little twists and turns relating to whatever part of the body I decide to work as a heel or whatever. But like that match with Cyclops, there was a moment where we were about to go home and I'd kicked out. I was just sitting there, and the crowd was just so crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I literally told myself, like, I am making a core memory right now. And I'm just looking around at this crowd booing the shit out of me.
Uh-huh.
And they had no rest for the main event, which was two local guys. For 30, 40 minutes, they were making noise. And I don't know, it just felt like that was a good payoff. And, like, that was the night he needed to go over to. And just to see and hear that eruption and be a part of just that whole thing is why we do this stuff.
Yeah. Man, I remember before you guys even touched. I mean, I feel like you guys were in the ring at least 5 minutes before you
We were
even
in there
touched.
10 minutes, I think maybe 11 before we ever even touched.
Wow. And I remember, you can even hear me on the camera. I just looked around and went, wow. Because, dude, it was electric. Like, for a small little West Virginia show, man, like, that is as electric as it gets.
And that goes to show you, if you book stuff right,
Mm-hmm.
you can sell, like, the whole place out. And I feel like that was booked very correctly. And
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. That's one of my top moments in wrestling. And to share that with a wrestler, the caliber of Cyclops, for those of you who don't know, has been doing this off and on for a while, and he's probably closer to the end of his in-ring than he is at the beginning. But for him to just keep up and do the stuff he did and listen, and he did a phenomenal job as well. It wasn't just me. You're only as good as your dance partner, and I had a good dance partner in there.
No doubt. No doubt. And, man, whew. If you guys haven't seen it, Saturday Night Shoot Masters, Episode 1, the most perfect main event I could ask for. Check it out. Do yourself a favor. It's something else. Let's kick it back to RSW. Coming up July 1st, Billy Knoxx. What do you see in Billy Knoxx? Give me some pros, cons, any thoughts you have on Billy Knoxx Heritage title match July 1st, Morgantown, West Virginia.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you figured this out, but I don't like an easy challenge at all. And Billy is not an easy challenge, He comes from the same roots that I come from in this sport. He is hard-hitting. He is a lot of things. And something he does is intimidate the people he's in the ring with. And if I can figure out how he does that, use it against him if you're watching. Yeah, there's a little hint, dude. But figure out how he does it. Use it to my advantage. Maybe I'll be next in line to face Remy and potentially become Benny Two Belts in real shoot wrestling.
There you go. It's not uncommon for Benny Conley to come out looking like the Ultimo Dragon. So, I of course, hey man, I gotta be real with you. I got pulled for my boy. I want to see him get that singles title win, but I know it'll be a good one regardless. So let's kick it back to the mountain this past weekend. What a crazy four-way for the
Cool.
Heritage title. I think things went a little sideways, but things got back on track. Tell the listeners, the viewers, the audience about this match that we had up on top of the mountain this weekend.
Well, I held this open challenge for the Real Shoot Wrestling Heritage Championship, and became a singles match, became a triple threat match, became a fatal four-way, left it at a fatal four-way. So you got myself, you got Gannon Green, you got the Drewby, T.L. Andrews, and then you got Doozen in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say Doozen has a whole highlight reel just from this match. That dude was doing some crazy stuff in there, and just flipping it. How many? We should have a flip count for how many flips he did in this match.
He's phenomenal. We'll put him over all day. I love that kid.
Yeah, he was fun to swing around in the ring with a little bit, but there was a section of the match. I had to pull my little grizzled young vet card out in, and Gannon had speared Drewby, and before the match, I think I'd talked Gannon out of doing a shoulder tackle. I was like, man, a spear would be awesome, man. Do the spear. And he's like, I've never done a spear before, but I do have a pretty good shoulder tackle. And so, we're doing this little waterfall spot to all come up and have a multi-man spot that got completely cut out because whenever he speared Drewby, and then everyone was down at the time, he speared him, and Drewby broke a rib.
Damn.
And rolled out of the ring. So, instead of going to this big multi-man spot, I'm just, trying to, become the general and tell him, all right, we're moving on to this, all right? So I was trying to get Doozen to go to the roof. And we wound up getting there, and I went to, pick Drewby up, T.L. Andrews. And I was like, hey, man, you selling? And Doozen's climbing up, and Gannon's selling over here to help catch. And I grab him by the neck, and when I do, he said, get the fuck away from me. And when he said that, I was like, all right, dude, I guess it's just me and Gannon on this. We caught Doozen, and we wound up going to the finish. But, as we're getting up, I was supposed to pin Drewby, for part of the finish. So, I had to, tell Gannon, hey, man, take this super kick,
Mm-hmm.
So we got to where we went to. Me and Doozen ran this little spot. He gave me a co-breaker and a 450. And then Gannon finished the spot he was supposed to do, but instead of having something with Drewby after, I just cut him with that super kick. I don't know how it came across or whatever, but
it was a fun match. It was a fun match.
It was still, we did cut some fun stuff out of it still too, unfortunately, but Drewby does have a broken rib. R.I.P. Drewby's rib.
Damn. And what a show for the what a unique environment. God, there was a ton of people up on this mountain. They're selling tacos.
Dale Earnhardt's hat, bro.
Huh?
Dale Earnhardt's hat was there.
And a piece of his car. I mean, what a unique venue. And just all these people on top of a damn mountain in West Virginia. I've heard 200 people. I don't know what the number was, but it looked like a damn state fair on top of this mountaintop.
Yeah, I'm not sure the amount of people. There were grown adults having a good time. There were children having a good time. Heck, there was a time I was selling outside the ring, and I was like, man, this gravel hurts. I'm going to go sit down over here on this rock. And all these kids came around me. They're like, man, you should go in there and do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, all right, yeah, cool. Watch out. I don't know. Very, very cool venue. I think they did it last year. I wasn't a part of it, but it'd be cool if they did that more than once a year. It was really awesome.
No doubt. Since we're on the subject, let's talk about your recent return to RSW. From you've been gone, is what it is. We kind of ventured up onto your turf. You were kind of there. What can you tell me from Benny Conley's side of things about coming back to RSW?
Well, that AIWF Great Lakes had dissolved, and I've been holding their championship. And, the powers that be at RSW took control of that promotion, and they had decided, hey, we don't want to do this again. So we are taking this Great Lakes Championship away from you, but we're going to give you this Heritage Championship in its place. And so that's the way that kind of worked out there. I had spoken with Tim at a Beastman show up near Wheeling, and then I spoke with him in Beckley, in the southern part of the state a little bit. And at the Beastman show, like, I told him, yeah, man, like, I understand you took it over. Yeah, I'm going to honor my bookings, blah, 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 and we'll talk about it. And, you know, everything went good. But I'd also, like, came across this 3D printer that my buddy gave me. Mm-hmm. And I printed off some tire caps that looked like dick and balls. And while we were up in Wheeling, me and Jason Kincaid, I gave him 2 and I had 2. And we went out, and there was 2 Dodge trucks in this park.
Shit!
And I was like, it was me. And I was like, huh. One of these is Tim's. I don't know which one it is, but I think it's this. And so we replaced the tire caps on everyone except the driver's one because we saw like 3 RSW guys there that would have seen us like mess with the tire there, and we did not want to get caught. We wanted a long standing rib, right?
Wow.
So about 3 weeks later, I see Tim in Beckley, like I was saying, and like walk out to his car with him, and on the way out, I was like, well, it's now or never. Let's see if I picked the right truck. And I see those tire caps on there, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I picked the right one. And, you know, I had trusted Dustin Alexander, and I told him like a couple months later, and he sent me screenshots from a message, and like Tim and message, like sent it to him. He's like, bro, what the F is this? And Dustin's like, I mean, I know what it is, like, yeah, but like I don't know where it came from or whatever.
He was, he was questioning folks. I saw some group chats myself where he was doing some interrogating. That blows my mind. That was you. That's great.
So over the weekend, I admitted it to Tim, and I was like, real serious. I think it was before my match. I was like, Tim, I've got to fucking talk to you. He's like, what's going on, man? What's going on? And I'm like, Tim, like, you're not going to believe it, man. He's like, what? Tell me. And I'm like, I put the dick tire caps on your truck. And he's like, whoa. That was you? Like, completely off guard.
You just blew my mind because I'd forgot all about this investigation. There was a serious investigation going on, and now we know the conclusion. How good was it to see some of the boys again in RSW?
It's great, man. It's weird because, like, I'm younger or the same age as them, but, like, in wrestling years, I'm an old fuck, so they respect me. So it's awesome, you know? I want to wrestle just about everyone in that locker room, too. I keep knocking shit over. But, like, I really want to have a match with Nolan or Phineas. I would love to have I want to have a singles with just about everyone there, man, you know? I feel like they can learn a lot from me, and I feel like I can learn something from working with them too. You know, it's a win-win. But I'm down to put on a good match with anybody there, and I think that's cool that I could go there and they're like, "All right, who do you want to work with?" And like, it's like, "Whoa, I get a choice? Hell yeah, let's work with him." You know, so
yeah. Like a kid in the candy store, man. There's so many dream matches that are possible now, and yeah, so many different styles. It's definitely an exciting time to be an RSW fan. Shoot, like I say, you're still killing it in PWL. Let's tap on that a little bit. Let's give you the devil their due. Let's show the nicer side of Benny Conley. You've been a big part of the training up at PWL. What can you tell me about these kids training at PWL? What hand you've had in the training? Who's sticking out to you? What can you tell me about these training classes up there?
Gotcha. So, myself and Aaron West, he's another wrestler, shooting named Dave Bailey. We help run this training school, and we start people off from like 0 experience. Like, if you have experience when it comes, that's fine too. But to start someone off from like not even knowing how to fall, take a bomb, not knowing how to hit the ropes, not knowing chain wrestling, you know, they don't do much chain wrestling on TV these days. So like a lot of people don't know that stuff. it's not difficult to teach it, but it's very rewarding, not only as a teacher, but as a professional wrestler, because, you only get better sharpening your skills, and I'm definitely sharpening my knives working with these kids and doing stuff, but it's also rewarding to see somebody get it and to be the reason, like, you see them get it.
For sure.
And then, to think, like, man, in a year or two or however much time, these people are going to be working shows. I got trained by Benny, and that's something I think of, and I'm like, okay, so if that's going to happen, XYZ needs to happen too, So, they run a class there. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 at the Crossroads Mall in Mount Hope. And it is an awesome class of young adults that want to live out their dream. And, I'm very privileged to be able to get in there with them and teach them everything I know.
Hell yeah. I hope you're a little rougher on Beavis than the rest of them. That's just all I'm saying. Just rough him up a little bit. And
You guys may know him as Beavis, but he's gained a new nickname there now. He's also known as Michael Cera.
Oh, okay.
But I like to call him Matt because that's who he is.
Okay, fair enough. We love you, Beavis. And to the rest of them, you're doing a great job, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm trying to think of what I can ramble about so you can finally light this joint you've been trying to light for 20 minutes.
Bro, it's cool. I was just sitting here like, man, just talking. Like, it's here. It's in my hand. I'm okay. But
If you want to light it, by God, I'll sit here and put you over for a minute. Let's see. By God, like I say, the match with Tyler Jacks, that was a good one. The match with Cyclops, one of my old-time favorites. Wait till you see this four-way from the mountaintop. The recent match with Outlaw Willie Storm, I know that's one of his new personal favorites. It really meant a lot to him. He was really excited when he found out he was working with you. So there's guys that look up to you and are excited to work with you. So that's good shit. That's good stuff. What do you think the biggest change has been in your career or your life since our previous interview almost a year ago?
Man, was that a year ago already?
Almost. I think it was around September, so I'm kind of exaggerating a bit, but it's been months.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a promotion at my shoot job, and then, like, that stuff gets better, Was living at my parents' house for a while. I'm 28. It's a different generation of people, but I was lucky to have the help I had. I finally was able to get out of there. Just real shit going on. Wrestling wise, for a while, my knee was bothering me. My knee's never felt better than it does right now, though. So that's awesome.
Good. Hell yeah.
I have a world title on my shoulder that was kind of gifted there, and it's interesting because it makes, like, I've been watching a lot of Pancrase, a lot of Boss Rutan.
Okay.
Because the rules are kind of similar to that. And just, like, trying to figure out how to insert my pro wrestling isms into that. Make it make sense.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the shoot fighting title. Everybody was really excited about that match. Recently, they just posted the rules for the shoot fighting championship. I don't know how anybody can remember all these damn rules in the confines of a match. God bless you guys. But
if there's anything you know about me, it's I know how to follow rules, right?
Oh yeah, and work around them. But let's go into that match. How cool was that match for you?
It's very cool. And those of you that don't know, like Ace Donovan, Judo Ace Donovan, he's a black belt in many forms of martial arts, and he's just a family to me. So to have somebody like that come in and say, "Hey man, we're gonna have this match. Oh, by the way, I'm putting this on you tonight too," was pretty awesome. We went over time by like 2 minutes in the grand scheme of things, but the Star Spangled Banner that the crowd sang in the middle of the match was probably about 2 minutes.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's what made it run over.
Yeah. So it's worth it to me. I'll ask for forgiveness on that one. But like it's definitely different. You know, I know I've like pissed off the MMA pro wrestling community too, because I don't look like a guy who should be the world shoot fighting champion. And to them, I say, I'm not the baddest motherfucker around, but I'm the baddest motherfucker they know. Okay, so
No, it's definitely very intriguing having that belt on you. Just your style, the way you cheat, you work the crowd and stuff. Definitely doesn't look like two things that should go together, but
not
here
at
we
all.
are.
I'm also not limited to one style of professional wrestling.
Right on.
Luckily, being trained by Jason Kincaid, everybody knows I can't quit talking about that because he did train me. But being trained by someone like that, get taught these different styles you're going to run into.
Mhm.
So when I wrestled Tyler Jacks, of course I want to do some lucha shit. Same thing with Duzan. Like I don't get to do much lucha, but if I get the chance to do it, man, I'm going to pull that out of my pocket there. If I'm wrestling someone like Jason, I'm gonna like try to do as much technical wrestling as I can.
Right on.
When I wrestle Billy Knoxx, I'm gonna knock his teeth down his throat, or he's gonna do it to me, one or the other. So
Oh, it's going to be a damn war. It's going to be a damn war. And you make a good point. A lot of folks, if you ask them their favorite VCW match, I've been told numerous times it's the match with you, Kincaid, and I believe it was Gory in there, wasn't it?
I thought you were gonna say me and Super Oprah.
Well, hey man, oh my God. Okay, let's go into that. I post that clip, and my God, did that cause a stink.
I
What'd you hear on your end of things?
I was just like going into that match. I was like, what could I do that is both of our gimmicks like to 100% that might go viral? And that's like I pitched it to Jason and he giggled and I was like, okay, I might be onto something. And then like I asked Super Oprah and Super Oprah Jabari loved it, so we did it. And the worst part about the whole match was the finish when he hit me with the splash. Like that's a real splash, guys. Like, I could take it, but like that was the worst part.
And for those of you that haven't seen the footage, the spot we're referring to, if you know Benny, you know he'll poke you in the eyes. Well, worst comes to worst, and a stink face is coming at you, you gotta poke the brown eye sometimes.
I ain't taking it in the face. I got to do something.
And you got stuck. He got stuck, and there was some laughs. There was some pissed off people.
My fingers they got twisted, man. Like it hurts.
Professional wrestling. That's why we fucking love it, man.
My favorite part about the whole thing, and it should have got posted, but it didn't, because like they cut the commentators. That's how I was selling going up the ramp. But like I'm like hand over shoulder on one guy, and then on the other guy's the referee. Like I'm putting my fingers underneath his nose, like over here, like just trying to like be a stupid shit ass heel still. But yeah, that was very fun. I did that, I don't know, since that match I've had with Super Oprah, like I've been on a streak of like just crazy good matches. Like, or maybe not crazy good, but like very, very decent wrestling matches that I'm not ashamed to show anybody,
All very solid. Everything I've seen.
Yeah, it's fun. But going back to that match with Gory and Kincaid, like that's cool that gets said a lot. That was the first time I was ever in the ring with Gory. I've known him for like 10 years. I was supposed to wrestle Beastman Bulldozer Fetty that night, and he was sick or something in the hospital and wound up not being able to make it. And I'd never been so happy, or he was there but he couldn't wrestle, and I was like, I've never been so happy. Like I'm happy, healthy and stuff, but like,
Yep, dodge that bullet.
love you, Fetty, but you hit so hard, bro.
I've heard that from a lot of folks. So.
I've wrestled him like 2 or 3 times, and the first time I wrestled him in RSW, I told him, I was like, all right, man, why don't I have like a little hope spot where like elbow in the corner, boot you in the corner. I jump up on the second rope. I jump at you crotch first. You catch me for a power bomb. And I said Batista bomb, like sit down power bomb. He's like, okay. And everything's going good. Elbow, boot, hop up to the second, jump at him crotch first. He catches me. He turns me. He power bombs me standing up. And that shit sucked. And then I think it was, might have been before that. I don't know. We were wrestling at like a CrossFit gym in Morgantown during the pandemic. And we were doing a spot where I don't know if I was on the top rope or he was on the top rope or something like that. I was on the top rope, and he gave me a forearm in the back across the shoulder blades. And he hit me so fucking hard that I swear I felt it in my chest, man. It hurt so bad. And, like, normally when that happens and I get hit really hard, I hit really hard back, and most of the time it stops. But when you hit him really hard back, he hits you for real even harder. Like, I didn't even think you could get that harder. So you're just in an unwinnable fight at that point. So I was very happy to be able to have that three-way match with Gory. Yeah.
For sure.
I would still work a match with Fetty because I would like to believe he wouldn't kill me next time. But we will see.
It's bound to happen down the road. Bound to happen. I did have one fan question. It's an anonymous source. We'll call him Jim Ross.
Oh, good old AR.
It's not really Jim Ross, but the name's very similar. We're coming back to Connecticut soon. Might as well plug that. We're heading back to Connecticut. I was told to ask you why you can't open doors in Connecticut. And it has something to do with an attic. So. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's a great story.
Tell me.
So, you know how I was talking about Drewby earlier, and he broke his rib in that match. Well, me and Drewby have some history. We actually have some history with Mr. Sean Pugh, too, up in Connecticut, involving doors. And the first Connecticut trip that was taken, it was in Tim Cross's vehicle at the time was a soccer mom van. I missed that mobile. It was Tim Cross driving. It was Drewby in the passenger seat, or Sean Pugh. But it was Tim Cross, Drewby, Sean Pugh, yours truly. And we drove up to Connecticut, and we stayed at Tim's mom's old-ass farmhouse. It's like 4 stories, haunting in Connecticut. Like, I'm 6 foot tall, and my head's about to touch the ceiling type of house. It's awesome, though. It's amazing. And we stayed in the 4th floor, which is the attic. And the way to get into the attic is on the 3rd floor. You're walking through the bathroom, and there's a door with, like, a latch lock. And it's on, like, the way the latch lock is if anybody's upstairs in the attic, they're going to get locked in because it's like, or like a hook lock type.
Okay.
But, so every night, we shut that door and went to bed. Well, one morning I woke up and Sean Pugh had already gotten up. Drewby was still asleep. So I went downstairs and went to open the door, and I was like, why the fuck ain't it opening? And I went to open it some more, and I was like, shit, we're locked in. And so I saw like a fucking shimmy piece of wood, and I put it in, like I pushed the door open just enough to flip that hitch open. I opened the door. I was already in the bathroom, drained the main vein, and turned around and looked at that door, and I was like, fuck it. I shut it, and I locked it, and I went downstairs. And so 30 minutes go by. I tell Sean what I did, and like we're kind of like waiting, like little girls, like, man, we know Drewby's going to sell this, but how hard is he going to sell it? Fucking, we're watching a Kurt Russell movie on the movie channel. I forget what movie exactly, but I know Kurt Russell was a star in it. And we're sitting there watching it, and then we hear, boom! And I tiptoe to the bottom of the stairs, and I could hear Drewby like cussing, taking a piss. And I come back and I tell Sean, and I'm like, bro, we just have to like not sell it whatsoever. So if we look at him, we're gonna die laughing. So we're like, okay. So we're just watching the movie, and we hear like Drewby coming down the steps. And then he turns the corner and he's like, "Which one of y'all motherfuckers locked me upstairs?" And we ignore him. And like 20, 30 seconds go by. And I'm like trying so hard not to laugh. And so is John Pugh. And we're just like watching the TV while Drewby's behind us. And finally Drewby's like, "I'm standing right here." And then we fucking die laughing. And he's pissed. He's got like a red mark right here where he hit his face on the door trying to break through.
Oh shit.
Like he broke through the door. He didn't try to like work it and shimmy it like I did. And he was like, "Which one of y'all motherfuckers locked me up here?" And like I'm like in the floor laughing, and Sean Pugh's like, "Benny locked you up there, bro." And I was like, "Sean," and Drewby's like, "Benny, fuck you, man. How you gonna lock me up there?" And I said, "Drewby, like I fucking woke up and it was locked and I got out. Somebody locked us in there, bro." And like I just kept like trying to turn it, and I was successful. I would just keep turning it, and it would piss Drewby off even more. He's like, "Get the fuck out of my face, Benny. I don't even want to look at you." And, the whole weekend, like Drewby was that way towards me, like kind of playfully as the weekend got on more.
Right.
But Tim wound up booking me and Drewby in a match, I guess, so Drewby could get some frustrations out. And it was going to be a doors match, but we couldn't find a Home Depot with doors or something. And it was such a good weekend that, you know, we're walking the fairgrounds afterwards, and we're like, "Man, we should get like some friendship bracelets or something." And we wound up getting some bracelets. I still have mine. I think it's put up somewhere, but it was like Rastafari, like kind of snake looking. It was like black and white and red, or black and white and yellow and orange, and it was pretty tight. But I remember as we're looking at them, there was like 10 of them there that said "I love Puerto Rico," and I was like, "Guys, we should get the "I love Puerto Rico" one." And so like anytime me, Sean, and Drewby see each other, we're like, "I love Puerto Rico, man." We went to what's that casino in Connecticut called?
You got me.
Damn it, I can't think of it. But it was like this huge ass casino, event center, hotel, restaurants, Mohegan Sun. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And TC took us there. We were gonna eat at Bobby Flay, and Drewby's just like, "I got Bobby Flay money." It was like, to me, the quote of the weekend. But he said it enough that we wound up going to the Michael Jordan restaurant instead. And I don't know how Drewby knows this stuff, but you know, we're sitting there drinking, waiting for our food, and the waitress keeps coming back and forth. And every time she does, Drewby's like, "I bet she does CrossFit." And like she'll walk away and come back and talk to us or give us drinks or food or whatever, and walks away. And he's like, "I bet that bitch does CrossFit." And like every time she walks away, like it gets funnier and funnier and funnier. And finally, by the end, paying the bill or whatever, Tim like gives her money, and Tim's like, "By the way, my buddy here just keeps saying he can tell by looking at you that you do CrossFit. Is this true?" And I see like embarrassment go over this girl's face. She's like, "I do CrossFit." And Drewby's like, "See? Told you." Like,
yeah, that dude's an enigma. I barely know him. I've been at a couple shows with him. He's super friendly to me, but you can tell that dude's a character. So,
yeah. And if he don't fuck with you,
better.
he don't fuck with you.
Okay. Yeah, he did. And let's go back to the locked door story, because I had a very similar experience, and very rarely do I share my very super personal stories, but I'll give you one real fast and give one to the listeners, because I was trapped recently, about a month ago. Let me give you a little bit of setup here. Me and my wife, we live in a very, very small coal mounting house in Monongah. And we also have 3 children. So, Benny, it is very hard for us to have sex. Our oldest is 19. It's a very small house. It just, the circumstances got to be right. They got to be going off to the store. There's got to be something special going on.
I've got 7 minutes laid aside right now.
Uh-huh. It's like that. It's like that. So it'd been about a month, and we're like, we gotta fucking make this happen. We're fucking married. Like, what the fuck? So we have this outbuilding, and it's a damn nice outbuilding. It's carpeted. It's 2 stories. It's pretty much a little house. So we're like, fuck it. Let's go. Kids go to sleep. We'll go out there and get the damn job done. As soon as I closed the door, I was like, fuck. It's fucking locked. I had the key with me, and you lock it from the outside. But we still gotta do the thing. But still, I'm like, fuck, we're gonna be trapped in here. The kids are gonna wake up, wonder what the fuck, where we are. So, yeah, so it wasn't the best sexual experience of my life, but we get the damn job done. And I'm like, well, fuck, how do we get out of here? Like, do we call the kids and tell them they gotta unlock us? I was like, man, we gotta think of something better. Well, we happened to see our neighbor go out to their vehicle. So she hurried up and called the neighbor, and we had to get the neighbor to let us out of our outbuilding about 2 in the morning. So, and I was panicked, bro. Like, I'm a claustrophobic. I didn't want to be in there. No cigarettes, nothing to drink. Have to piss in a corner if I have to, I guess. I wasn't excited about that. I was panicked. So I can relate.
Yeah, I'm pretty claustrophobic myself. I'm honestly scared of heights too. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of fears in this, man.
Well, okay, you throw that out there. Has there been a time in wrestling where things were a little too high and you was like, oh shit, here we go?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Do tell.
One time I was wrestling in War, West Virginia at Joey Morton's Fall Festival. I want to say it was like 2015. And I'm a babyface wrestling a heel Jason Kincaid. And there was a moment in the match where me and Jason are wrestling on the outside. And this is like a city festival. So we're like on the side of, like in between the train and the road, pretty much in a parking lot. And it's the main road that goes 25 miles an hour through War. And there was a bunch of people there. I don't know, 400, 500 people. And we're wrestling main event, having a good match. And he takes me out into the street and, like, puts my face on the curb that, like, curb stomped me.
Oh, shit.
And in wrestling, like, you could watch it on, you could look, but I'm going to preface this real quick. Before I say this, you could look any of this shit up on the internet.
Benny's not giving away the secrets. It's already been
What?
given away.
Exactly. Like, sue me. Fuck you. He gives me the office to reverse, which is like a squeeze of the wrist, but like he had my head, so he gave me a squeeze. But I didn't I was so aware that, okay, there's a lot of people around me that I didn't really react or feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went to like curb stomp me and I didn't reverse, he like jumped on his other leg and didn't really stomp me.
Okay.
And someone in the crowd was like, "That was fake." And Jason, like being the heel, was like, "What'd you say?" And the dude was like, "That was fake." And Jason, I think he said, "This isn't," and like spit at the dude or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be wild, man. And,
oh yeah.
That dude started like swinging at Jason, and Jason, I think the guy pushed Jason first, and then Jason like spit at him is what happened.
Okay.
Then the guy started like swinging at Jason, and Jason just like doing Ali with hands down, just dodging everything. And there's a couple people trying to swing at Jason, and then a couple turns into like a dozen people trying to swing at him. So like he gets me in the ring, we go to our finish, and we get the hell out of there.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go to the finish real quick before I talk about get the hell out of there.
Okay.
So like we're fighting through the crowd finally, and like this crowd is following us to the ring pretty much because they're mad that one guy got spit on after pushing him. And we finally get into the ring, and then like they're just at the ring, and the finish involved like it was supposed to be a folding chair, but there wasn't a folding chair, so it was like just a regular chair.
Okay.
And I was like swing it ricochets off the top rope and hits me. Still wound up doing it, but it was funky. Went to our finish, he beat me, and then like the referee walked with him to the locker room, and then came back and walked with me to the locker room, and which was like this old store that didn't really serve any purpose at the time now. And the cops come back there and they're asking us, what happened out there, and we tell them, and they were very understanding, and you wanted to make sure that me and Jason weren't mad at each other because it was so much stuff going on. They weren't sure if there was 3 sides to it or 2 sides or
Okay. I
whatever the
like
case
that.
may be. And
Good work.
I told the cop, I was like, "No, man, we're good. We just need to get out of here." He's like, "Cool, we're gonna walk y'all to your car." I was like, "That's fine, man. We rode the same vehicle here." And so he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll walk you one at a time." So they put a towel over Jason's head, and he got dressed and shit, got paid, and then went to the car, and then did the same thing with me. Went to the car, and then they escorted us like all the way back to the interstate, and then went on their way. But it was very, very surreal, kind of scary experience. Having this crowd turn on your dance partner right here, and thinking, man, if they try to go after him, I'm gonna go down with him.
Right.
But we weren't gonna go down without fighting.
Well, hey, props to the cops in Moore, West Virginia for keeping kayfabe alive.
They were on it, man.
Yeah, even though Benny's on here trying to kill it with every sentence he gives out.
I don't care, man.
Good. Thank you.
Like, I mean, if it was the 70s or the 80s, yeah, I'd care, But, I mean, everything evolves. The Undertaker is Mark Calloway again. So, I mean, people know what it is. People still enjoy it. People watch superhero movies. They can suspend their disbelief for that. They know that shit ain't real, but it still entertains them. Same exact thing. Different kind of nerd sometimes, but same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm a pro wrestler. I love watching MMA. Who's to say some of that shit ain't rigged?
Yep. And the shit that I caught when I started Shoot Masters, showing the behind the scenes stuff. Oh, I was killing the business. They couldn't believe Tim was letting me do it. And I was like, number one, Tim don't know shit about what I'm doing. It's on my YouTube channel, so don't blame Tim, blame me. Number two, you can go watch Dutch Mantel, Jim Cornette, fucking AEW, fucking All Access. I ain't starting no trend. Fucking Vince said it back in 1992 that the shit, that, and of course he was doing that to save himself a few dollars. I don't blame him. But yeah, man, we ain't the fucking first ones to do this, and I think everybody kind of knows what's going on at this point. What the fuck, Benny?
They all know what's going on, and I've been passing this back and forth with a former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, and he literally told me, Vince calls us the biggest marks in the world because we work for him. And
well, there you go.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, we are the super marks. We are in this because we want to know the behind the scenes. We want to know how it works. We want to execute how it works. We want to be a part of it. Like, why are we making fun of ourselves?
Yeah. And my argument for Shoot, what'd you say?
I said it's ridiculous. Like,
yeah. And my argument for Shoot Masters and for the whole channel, for WrestleRoni, for a lot of the shit, I believe when you watch TV wrestling, you're only getting half of the magic. I think folks should see the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the family, the shit that goes on behind the scenes. Not everything. I've got stuff that I keep just for the boys and stuff, but I think that people should see how cool this is, how special this is. So that's my argument, and I ain't changing a damn thing. And if, by God, Grizzled Veteran Benny Conley gives me his blessing, then that's all I fucking need. Kiss my ass.
I mean, there is thousands, if not millions, of ways to cook chicken. Just because I cook it different than you don't mean either one of us are wrong.
Right.
So, I don't know. Like, I started 13 years ago at the end of the kayfabe era, whenever people were still trying to take people's money and beat the shit out of them and make them not come back. And, you don't do a hot spot unless you're in a blow-off match kind of people.
Okay. Makes
perfect sense. I was trained by a handful of guys that, were trained by just people that really didn't leave the area too much. So in a lot of ways, they were very blinded by their views. And I want to say my first 3-4 years I was under them before I ever met Jason, and then Jason retrained me like the new way to work, the new ways to work.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, like I'm privileged to know both ways, because at first style was very much a walk and talk. We only talk about the finish in the back type of match.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, a lot of the matches are, all right, we're gonna call A through Z, or we're gonna call like 10 bullet points, or we're just gonna talk about a bunch of stuff and see what sticks out there. Like, and a lot of times, whenever I get in these matches with these young kids, I'll walk up to them and I'll say, "What's your opening shot? What do you want to do for a hope spot? What's your comeback? What's your finish?" And then I ask them those questions, and I might have a few conversations with them about the match or whatever, but not like going over it a bunch, because I want them to go out there and feel the crowd reaction with me. Because like that's something me and Cyclops did too, was we didn't call too much, and I feel like that's why we got such the reaction from the crowd. Like every match we had there, we didn't call too much.
Okay.
But that's why the crowd was so into it, because we weren't trying to predetermine what they want to see. We were going out there, listening to them, and giving them what they wanted.
Yeah. And
That
you succeeded.
yeah. Not a lot of people can do that. Not to pat my own back, man. I've been doing this 13 years. You know, like somebody has this much experience, they're going to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something like I'm trying to pass on to this next generation. Like when I had my match with Willie Storm, I was giving him like cues that I asked him about afterwards that he was telling me, nobody tells me stuff like that. Like at the end of that match, whenever I'm holding my belt over him and talking to him, I told him, I said, "Don't get up until I leave. That way you'll get a pop."
Right.
Then like once I left and he stood up, I heard him like give his ovation. Like I know like what works and what doesn't work because I've done it for a while now. So that's also a privilege of my experience, letting me not have to call as much out there because I can just feel what I need to do.
Yeah. And going back to the Cyclops match, it worked because it was natural. It was just everything was very raw. It was as raw as it gets in my book, and it worked. And going back to Willie, Willie was super thrilled about that. I've talked to him in private about that match. That match means the world to him. So you're doing something right, Benny. We're in the last 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes, whatever you want to sell, whatever you want to put over, what's coming down the pike for Benny Conley, I don't give a shit, man. The platform's yours. What do the folks need to know? What's coming up?
Gotcha. You know, this year I was a little more spacey with my bookings. It's weird how life works. For the longest time, I wanted to wrestle every weekend, like as much as I could every weekend. Now, I'm in a position where I'm not now, I kind of lightened my schedule up, but I was in a position where I was wrestling every weekend. And sometimes in life, you get stuff that you want, and then it takes you getting that to realize, did I really want that or did I not? And, I'm just getting older, my body's getting more beat up. Like, if I was doing this full time, I was able to just go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and take care of my body and do all that correct stuff, then I could wrestle 3, 4 times a week. But because I can't, I work long hours during the week, and I'm sure there is time there, but like it's hard for me to make that time. I'm so damn tired. I can't wrestle every day, or I can't do it every weekend because I do have those obligations and stuff, and my body's not able to keep up with it because I can't take care of it the way I need to. So, like, I have definitely lightened my schedule up, but I feel like that's also lets me go into my matches a little bit more healthy and a lot less beat up. And I've been, like, thinking about it like a fighter. You'd see, like, MMA or boxer, they train weeks for one bout. Some pro wrestlers have those bouts 4 or 5 times a week, and those bumps do add up. I'm 28 years old, man, and I wake up aching and paining. I can feel my hips out of place right now. I need to go to a chiropractor. You know what I'm saying? And just at this level, unfortunately, like it's very tough. but this is what either makes or breaks you, and I haven't given up yet. The day I quit wrestling is the day I'm going to quit pursuing it for like a full job or whatever. But that's not going to be anytime soon. I definitely love what I'm doing. Definitely feel like I'm in a really good groove. Definitely feel like I'm getting more eyes on me. And man, I'm only 28. Like, people that are at the top of the business right now are late 30s, mid to late 40s. Like, I still have time. And I'm just trying to craft myself. I'm trying to be the best version of myself I can be. And, I'm trying to get even more healthy. So who's to say that you don't see me somewhere even bigger? Or who's to say you don't see me coming for a junior championship somewhere soon?
Damn
Like,
right. I believe it. I guarantee you there's a lot of your peers that would say the same, a lot of fans that would say the same. There's no doubt in our mind, man. It's just getting those damn eyes on you, giving you a shot. Somebody give Benny Conley a chance, god damn it.
but like, even that AIWF World Shoot title that I'm holding right now, like, that's cool. Like, that's a world championship. That's my first world championship.
Yeah.
That's on WrestlingTitles.com. That's a world champion. So, that's cool as shit to me. Gets more eyes on me. So I gotta like be my best version of myself, and that's what I'm planning on doing. I don't stay on social media much. It just feels like it'll take up a lot of my time, but do check my messages maybe once a day or something like that. I suck at that. You could ask anybody who tries to get a hold of me. They're like, "Oh, Kayfabe Conley again. There he is." I just try to stay off it, man. Sometimes I feel like it's real toxic. Sometimes it's fun, waste some time, but I just feel like it could be very toxic. Do have some new shirts coming out soon. Getting with a shirt maker, or I got with her at that last show. I just got to update my logo. But some double digit danger shirts are going to be coming out, and maybe some hot dog finger shirts. Not sure yet. We'll see about those, but definitely excited for what the future holds for me. But I'm just in a big mode where I know I'm doing good, know I'm having good matches, but I really just want to focus on giving back and leaving pro wrestling better than I left it.
You are. Everybody, for the most part, you work a lot of heel stuff, so a lot of people see you as a shithead.
Yeah.
I will let the people know nobody has looked out for me like Benny Conley has. Just little things like when you say stuff to the camera or when you do a certain pose for the camera, I'm like, man, this is good shit. And like when you came out of PWL, you said, I'm going to follow you for a change. So I had to switch up my game and finally walk backwards. So just little things like that. You're even looking out for the cameraman. You're looking out for the social media guy. So I'm fucking grateful for you. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. You always talk to me before the show. Give me some tips here and there, whatever it may be. I think all of us are very privileged to have you. You're giving back. You're giving back in a big way. I personally thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you thanking me, man. And you have no idea though how much we all are appreciative of you, man. For so long, I go wrestling places and I try to get just a shitty cell phone camera, film of my match just so I could see what I did. But you being there, you have great ass footage for all of us to go back and view. So it's just as awesome having you around, man. Seeing you at a show makes me want to work harder because I know it's going to be great footage.
Well, and it works out for both of us then, because by goodness, Shoot Masters is on fire. I say you're one of the attributes to that since episode 1. Yeah, by God, you was on one of the early episodes of WrestleRoni, so hey man, you're a staple of this channel. Anytime you need a platform, anything to say, good, bad, sideways, come on. You've got a platform here. I will have your back till the end, my man.
I appreciate that, man. And I do want to end saying the same thing I said the first time I was on here.
Mm-hmm.
Never say never,
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Never say never. And then, with the first interview, he wasn't a part of RSW then. I didn't even know. I hadn't met Benny at that point. It was met up through a mutual friend. And look where we are now, man. We're all rock and rolling and just shining. Fucking shining, man. Any last words before we wrap this bad boy up, Benny Conley?
If somebody thinks they could take me in the ring, they have something to look forward to, and that's getting over it. Because like I said earlier, I may not be the baddest motherfucker, but I'm the baddest motherfucker you know.
There you go. Stay tuned. We've got Benny Conley matches on the channel, and we've got a special one coming up after this interview. It will be up waiting on you. Very, very rare classic with Dustin Alexander from Parma, Ohio. Benny Conley, I thank you. To the listeners, man, we're coming up on 100 episodes. If you haven't already heard the news, July 5th at midnight, we will go live. Whether it's episode 100, 98, whatever the fuck it is, we're celebrating 1 year on July 5th. We're going to have a crew of crazy people, and we're going to get fucking wild. It's been a wild ride, and I'm glad Benny Conley's by my side on this one. I love y'all. Treat each other kindly and with respect. Go live your dreams. You might be the AIWF Shoot Fighting Champion and the RSW Heritage Champion, and pissing people off putting your fingers up somebody's ass. You never know.
The double-digit pink-eye poker, man.
This has been another awesome WrestleRoni. Stay tuned. So much more to come. I love y'all. Thank you, Benny Conley.
Thank you. Later, y'all.